All right, here's try it 2.11. I want to do this because these problems are kind of involved, so they're worth talking through. We're given one line and asked to come up with the equation of a completely different line. And the different line goes through this point, and in part A, it's parallel to this guy, and part B, it's perpendicular to this guy. So for the line that I'm trying to draw, so for A, for example, let's do A first. If I'm going to draw or come up with the equation of a line, I need to know two things. I need to know the y-intercept, and I need to know the slope. Well, because my graph goes through the point 0, 0, what that means is that the y-intercept is 0. It goes through this point right here. The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. It is saying, what is the height when we cross the y-axis? Well, it's right here, 0. Okay, so just from this point, I know that b is equal to 0. And in fact, that'll be the case for both a and b here. So this b is in terms of talking about this b, the y-intercept, not to be confused with this b right here. So I know that b is 0 for both parts here. What will change is the slope. And so what I have to do is look at this line, which is not my answer, and figure out the slope of this line. Well, just by looking at this guy, I can tell that the slope is equal to 2. Because this, conveniently enough, is in this form. And in this form, the coefficient on x is always your slope. It's the value of m. So just by looking at this, I can tell that the slope here is 2. And if the slope here is 2, the slope of a line parallel to this is also 2. What parallel means is the same slope. So for part A, I know the slope is 2 and the y-intercept is 0. So for part A, my answer will be f of x equals 2x plus 0. For part B is similar. I still have b equals 0 because it still goes through this point right here, but what's different is the slope. The slope is no longer 2. The slope is the slope of the line that's perpendicular to a line that has a slope of 2. And what you need to know is that perpendicular lines, their slopes are negative reciprocals, which sounds a lot harder than it is. It's just saying change the sign of this slope. It used to be 2, now it's negative 2. Oh, and then flip it upside down. I mean flip it upside down. Well, you could think if this were a fraction, it would be 2 divided by 1. Flip it upside down, now it's 1 divided by 2. Oh, but I still have that negative. The negative reciprocal. Make this a fraction. Instead of 2, it's 2 over 1. Flip it upside down, and then change the sign. If it used to be positive, now it's negative. So this is my slope here for part B. My y-intercept is 0. So I got f of x equals negative 1/2 x plus 0. You're probably thinking, why the hell are you writing that 0? You don't have to write that 0. You don't. I kind of like writing it. I think it really emphasizes that the y-intercept is 0. But more often than not, you'll see this just written like this. And similarly, you would see this written like this. Nothing wrong with this. It's just not the standard way to write it. Plus 0, why bother? Good enough.